Hey guys, Senior Thesis Bar here with the four other Force Friday books that came out. I'm just going to review them all at once because I read them last week. I got them last week, read them all within a couple of days of each other, but I almost suffered from Star Wars burnout in doing so. So I just wanted to take a couple of days to kind of digest it, read some other reviews of it, see if there's anything I missed. I'm not going to go over any spoilers like minute detail stuff that I missed, but basically, what they are, kind of the overall plot structure of them, which ones you should get, which ones you could skip. Um, so let's start with the three YAs. So they're each about one of the main three. So we'll start with the one I read first. Uh, Star Wars Smuggler's Run, a Han Solo and Chewbacca adventure. So this one, since it's a YA, it was really short. It took me about an hour and a half, maybe, to go all the way through. It's basically right around, I looked at the timeline, right around the Princess Leia comic, so like right after episode 4, the rebellion needs a spy they need to extract one of their best spies, and they don't have a ship fast enough, and so they kind of, Leia begs Han to go, and he goes off to extract the agent, and they run into this lady on the back here. She's an Imperial. IMF? I might be thinking of something else entirely there. But she's an Imperial kind of inspector, and she's on the hunt for the spy as well. And so it's kind of, I wouldn't call it a cat and mouse, but race to see who can get the rebel first. And Han wins, and then Han loses, and then Han wins, and they all escape. But the real important thing about this book, and actually all of these, is the narrative, like the narrative frame of the story, because this is actually told through it's an older Han Solo telling the story to younger criminals in a bar, and he's like, well, because they're talking about what's the best ship, and then they all like sigh. It's like the Millennium Falcon's the best, and Han's like, let me tell you a story about the Millennium Falcon, and it ends with them pulling out the guns on Han, and Han and Chewie kind of roughing them up and be like, you got nothing on me. And so for all of them, I think that's actually the most interesting part, because it gives you glimpses into where the characters are before and during The Force Awakens. So that's cool. Except for Luke. We know nothing. But that's kind of how it is. That's what I expected. The next one, and actually my favorite of the three, Jason Fry's Weapon of a Jedi, Luke Skywalker adventure. I like it because I'm actually a fan of Jason Fry's books, both his Servants of the Empire series with Zara Leonis, and his other series that I can't remember right now, but his own kind of sci-fi little kid novels. I'm a fan of them, at least the first one. I think I own the second one, but I haven't had a chance to read it. So I really like this. It's basically Luke goes for a rebel mission, then the Force is calling him somewhere else. So he goes to the planet it's calling him to, and there's a Jedi temple there. And so he goes in, finds some training droids, and works on his lightsaber skills. Meets an opponent named Sarko Clank, who is on the back of this. Looks really awesome. I'm actually impressed with kind of his design. Luke defeats him, but Sarko gets away in the end. I think, if I remember correctly, there is artwork of Sarko later on, and where he might appear. And there's one really funny thing that I've been reading of. So, being a fan of Star Wars, I like looking up other Star Wars podcasts. My favorite ones are Collider's Jedi Council, and one I just got into, Far, Far Away, with Tiffany Smith. And lo and behold, artwork that looks exactly like Tiffany Smith. She and who's the host? Christian Harloff from Collider's Jedi Council pointed that out, and Jason Fry actually retweeted a tweet. So there's just kind of some funny meta stuff going on there. As you saw in the picture, C-3PO does have his red arm in this, so the narrative of who's telling the story is C-3PO is actually telling the story to that girl, Jedi pilot. Blue 3 is what she prefers to go by, or Resistance pilot. and she's telling the story about Luke that's one not heard before, because Luke is MIA. He's a legend in the Resistance, but no one seems to know where he is, or no, they don't give a reference of how long he's been away, so we don't know if it's recent, or we don't know if he's been away forever and he's just kind of a ghost now. We don't know. I like that. I can't wait to see more of it. And so the third one is Moving Target, a Princess Leia adventure. And that is Nien Nunb, if I'm saying his name correctly, with Leia. And some more allies of theirs on the back. Don't get too close to them. So basically this one is right before Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So they hear about the Death Star. The Rebel upper echelon knows about it. And they're like, what can we do? We need to amass our fleets to attack this thing. However, sending up kind of like, that would be sending up a flare to the Empire, hey, we're here. So Leia, actually, this is the part I really like. Leia goes on a mission to send kind of false trails, red herrings in a sense, to the Empire using frequencies that the Empire's hacked, but the Rebels know they hacked. So they're sending those out to say, hey guys, on the opposite side of the galaxy, we're amassing over here, when they're really not. And that part I really liked. However, when we get into the particulars, I don't grow close. I'm not a fan of a lot of the characters, and this formula of the story is just repetitive. So it's like Leia goes, drops off a beacon, the Empire chases them, they get away, Leia feels guilty for people sacrificing themselves. Rinse and repeat for 3 or 4 times, and you're like, by the end, you just really don't care. It ends happily. All the ships, at the end, Leia sends a beacon because she's so guilt-ridden, where she's like, hey guys, it was a false flag operation. Sorry, but we're actually not meeting here. And Leia and Neri gets captured in the end, and then all of the ships that got that message come back, save her, and they jet off to Endor. And so that's kind of the end. Leia for herself goes to save Han because she's got in contact with Luke. And yeah, now the narrative, like who's telling the story in this, there's a droid who, if I can find it, wants to meet with Leia because she's one of the leaders of the Resistance. That droid, and then there's Leia right there, looking at younger Leia. So, because she's apparently a big historical figure, and he's like, we need to start your life biography. And Leia's like, I don't want to talk about moments we've already talked about. Let's talk about something I haven't. The choice between duty, between basically obligation to a cause and obligation to yourself. Duty to yourself and duty to what you believe in. And so that's kind of what the story's about. And in the end, you get a Poe Dameron reference. Shout out. Also, check out Star Wars Shattered Empire. You'll see why there. But it's kind of leading to, kind of hints at Leia's mentorship in a way with Poe. And there's some fun speculation going on about that for later stuff, because I don't want to get too into spoilers. Anyways, this video is getting kind of long, so I'll do a separate video for Lost Stars. And this is Senior Thesis Bart, signing off.